I say this at the start of every single game because I feel like I need to point this out because I get really emotional during IG games.
It's a roller coaster, right?
It's a roller coaster. I am an old school Ferrari fan. I really want to see IG do well again. And every time I see them do well in one game, they do absolutely terribly in the same game at the same time. So my wish, my only wish, I wrote to Santa and I asked him for aggressive support heroes for Invictus Gaming. That was my dream for IG.
So are they just misunderstood geniuses? Is that why? Is that why their games just fluctuate so heavily like that?
No.
No. Okay, just no. That's not it.
Geniuses, yes. I don't think they're really misunderstood. They understand themselves very well.
Okay.
The problem is, I think, actually, IG having confidence in themselves to do what they need to do. So, yeah, because I see indecision more than anything else. That's kind of the main thing for Invictus Gaming. But they start with a solid combo. This is the dream start for IG. You get Ferrari's SF, you get Chuan's Rubik. He is amazing on that Rubik. I think there's only one game out of the last 10 I've cast of IG where they played a Rubik and it failed. So it's a really good success rate because Chuan, you really looked at him for that timing, you looked at him for that control moving between the lanes. That's what I want to see from him in this game.
It's really interesting that you mentioned how much success IG have with Rubik because we saw Rubik last game, and against the heroes that, I mean, I would even go as far as to say those picks in the last series were pretty meta. You know, Spirit Breaker, Darkseer, stuff like that, and I really felt like that Rubik really couldn't do anything. So hopefully...
But he was also combined with the Dazzle.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And a Shaker. So it's like purely defensive supports, and I know with maybe a different supporting cast here, Rubik can do a little bit more with his early game, and hopefully IG are able to find space for that. But so far, Wings... They're going for the Clockwork, they're going for the Tusk. Clock we don't really see a ton.
Especially the first two pickup.
Yeah.
And especially with the Tuskar as well, because this pushes the Tuskar into a support role. 100%. Almost limits your drafting phase when you do this at the start.
Yeah, but they have to have something specific in mind, I feel, for taking Clockwork this early on, for the reasons that you mentioned. Like, a lot of the time you'd see teams pick up Darkseer, for example, if they were given it, because Wings took the liberty of taking out Brood, which means that Darkseer is just free in this phase if Shadow Fiend and Rubik are going to be the response from IG, which of course it was. So I'm actually kind of surprised myself that they managed to take it against a actual lane counter. Like Rubik is just
perfect against Clock.
Yeah. It's very common stuff. So I'm curious what their partner hero is with that. Maybe they go back to something a little bit more old school, like Gyrocopter. You know, go for the old hookshot into call down. It is a notorious combo, can still work out.
And you could give that a shot. Maybe it is all about the timing for Wings. Like, it's not just about the big the combo with the big call down to make sure you get the team fight. Maybe you're looking for something like a Skywrath Mage. It works nicely with both Tuskar as well as the Clockwork. And you look for that early rotation to try and shut down Ferrari. Because that normally is... that's Invictus Gaming's like go-to kind of guy. Ferrari is Mr. Consistency for IG. So if you can upset that... Oh, I love that. I had a... Okay. I'm looking for Dro or Luna to follow this up so they can add so much early game pressure. But to finish my thought on Wings, I'm wondering how much pressure they can apply to the SF early on and control, one, his lane presence, and two, the ability to flash farm.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what happened in the last series again, too. It's like that poor SF was level 4 at like 9 minutes into the game and he got his stack stolen. And it's like, okay, well, as a Shadow Fiend, my game is over now.
Yep, what do I do now?
I don't have a counterplay. So I'm looking maybe, man, if I was Wings, I would really want to pick Spirit Breaker, but at the same time, it's really hard to lane it, right? So they're going to go back for something very consistent.
They can't do Spirit Breaker as well. If you push both the Tuskar and Spirit Breaker support, it's too much melee. If IG actually go for the Dro Ranger now, their lineup is so damn good.
Yeah,
like the amount of damage you're going to receive from this, you could almost get away with running a Dro safe lane. Because I'm assuming this Wind Range now will go in the mid lane up against the SF. So you run a Dro up against a Clockwork, keep your distance, and then, okay, well, Beast would also work.
It's still okay to run with Dro, to be honest. I mean, they needed some hero who offered another method of hard control, and I feel like Beastmaster kind of gives them that. And if you think about it, too, the synergy with having like Hawk Vision when you're running a Dro strat is nice, because when you're pushing, you just want to make sure that you're not getting caught by a random hook.
Yeah.
And the bird can even block the hook for you. So as long as you have it in the right position, then you're going to be good to go. So
the birds still block as well, right? Because I know they had their interactions modified a couple of times.
I honestly don't remember. It's been so many times that they freaking changed it. I don't remember if they do or don't at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I wouldn't 100% all in. And they're actually going to take Luna themselves. which I find actually still fairly good in this situation. The only thing that I don't like is it's hard to auto through cogs. Like, obviously, you can still throw out Eclipse if you manage a hook shot in and you have that synergy. And maybe they go the Aghanim strat that we see a lot of the European teams doing nowadays. You just cast it on Clockwork and he hooks in and you just kill somebody. It's actually pretty legit.
Well, maybe if they picked up an Alchemist their last one, but he got banned out in the first two, so that's not an option for him. Man, whenever I see Luna pick up something like an Aghanim Scepter, I always had a big question mark. They actually banned the Spectre here, so they don't think... Because I'm actually even trying to remember the last time I saw a Rabbit play a Drow Ranger.
Must have been a while.
Yeah, it would be a very long time. He's actually been looking more towards the initiators of late, the guys who can jump in. That's actually where Chuan gets a lot of his space to function as the Rubik, because Rabbit will take up the role as like something like a Brewmaster or a Slaughter. So you get that jump in kind of chaos, that initial control, and then Rubik just sits on the back line stealing everything he wants to. And it's going to be a manly melee. It is going to be Sven. Huge amounts of armor. The auras are pretty nice when you stack them up. The control between Visage and Sven works nicely, and it kind of feels like this is what I was looking for, and the reason why I was question marking the Drow Ranger, because I'm thinking about an aggro tri-lane here for Invictus Gaming.
So you think Luna, Dazzle, Tusk?
I'm
oh no, you mean for IG, sorry,
yeah. For IG. So I'm thinking Sven, Visage, Rubik heading north, and then the Beastmaster going one-on-one with the Clockwork. The balls should be able to control most of that lane against him, so I'm not seeing too much of a problem, but...
Yeah, it's probably like 60-40 Beastmaster, but it's still very close. I think the better player would typically win that matchup.
But what's the Luna really going to do against Sven? Because to come in range to get a last hit means you're in range of Stormbolt, because her attack range is so pathetic. And
IG are also Radiant, which makes their aggro tri-lane better, because they can actually pull as well if they want to like really maximize their farm. I suppose it's possible.
The only thing they might have problems with is the Tuskar and Dazzle saving mechanisms, both Snowball and Shallow Grave in the wave.
Yeah.
But when you've got you've got Grave Chill, Soul Assumption range is huge. You've got telekinesis control as well, and the answer is going to be instantly no.
Yeah, they're just going to go safe.
Yeah. I suppose you do have like there's no elimination on the line. You will still be able to go through the lower bracket if you lose this series, but safety first. Get the levels up. The Beastmaster has been a fantastic offlaner anyway, so they're going to play a bit more standard here from IG.
I actually feel like Wing's safe
Did he just get scouted? He just got scouted.
Yeah.
That's actually really huge.
Did they actually know where the ward is, though?
Yes.
Yeah, they found it.
Yes, they will. It's kind of funny, too. They got a little bit of information from this because they saw where the Beastmaster walked out from. Because sometimes you go in a little bit deeper and plant the ward up on the hillside. But the other one is planting it closer towards the lane. So you come to the hillside, and then you plant it closer in the lane, just out of range of the Tier 1 tower.
30 seconds to showtime.
But because he was so close to the ramp area, it meant the ward was a little bit more shallower. They get away with the sentry ward like this.
Yeah, it's good stuff to be able to get that down. Like, having that vision in particular. Like, high ground vision when you're playing against an SF is so nice for a Wind Ranger because you can just line up your power shots with the CS very nicely. You can trade harass with ease. You don't have to worry about like that sweet spot high ground where the SF is freely able to hit you. So there's a lot of great benefits to that ward. And fortunately for IG, they managed to get their hands on it. And I mean, I'm sure Ferrari is going to be happy with one extra soul. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, every little bit helps.
It's kind of interesting to see him do that as well. Like, instead of just securing, because he doesn't have to, like, you could secure the early bottle by going for razors early on.
He'll hit level 2 and 2 creeps anyway. I mean, it's like...
True, because he got the 100-100.
Yeah,
so.
It's a very negligible difference. He might have only skilled Necromastery because there was a ward there. In which case, that would be next level.
Someone's having technical difficulties.
Yeah, but I do feel like, in general, Wind Rangers should probably have a pretty good time in this lane. Even given the fact that Ferrari starts off with like the 1 CS advantage, if you want to call it that. And
see, I almost feel like this is a disadvantage for him. Like, Wind Ranger skills up Wind Run to get up in his face. Without the razors, he doesn't offer an intimidation factor towards the Wind Ranger. So he really needs to get these souls in. Currently, okay, the razors are up, but he's still sitting at 1 soul. Now the second one only just comes in for that entire first wave.
It's expected, though. I mean, he's not supposed to do well on this lane until, like, level 3 to 5. That's when you can actually start using raises liberally, and you can actually start hitting the Wind Ranger with them as well. Like, the problem is with level 1 raise, you don't really want to use it to CS too much until you get your bottle. And by that time, you're normally 3, which he hits it just about the time that he has the money. But when you have a level 2 raise, that's when you can start using it to trade hits instead of just hit creeps with. It becomes much more mana efficient in that sense.
I think we should have actually have a little bit of a look towards our off lanes. So the battle between Faith as well as Luo, the Beastmaster, who have really been so instrumental in so many early winning fights for every team, to be able to rush up this Necro book, to actually have that early level 60, you got the war control. Luo currently can't even keep a Hawk alive with the shards taking it out. Like he's just over half a level up against the Clockwork. He's managed to find just over 2.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with the fact that IG's lanes are a tiny bit more greedy. Like Visage and Rubik, both very level-dependent supports, and going for a lift here, nice. Actually gets him on the high ground. That is definitely a Source 2 high ground. There is no way in like normal Dota that puts him high ground. Like that little lip right there did not exist before.
I thought they reworked all these cliff areas too.
They did a little bit. Like they're marginally different, but
because this line, like this cliff line, used to cut across that area, didn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely a little bit more jagged than it used to be. It was much more straight before. Yeah.
That actually helped out the Clockwork, because he ended up blocking the pull through. So this pull which Super is doing, Sean's having to pull from the side double stack, which they did. And it's so difficult to do so. In fact, they've actually missed the pull because of it.
Yeah, I think sometimes you might have to lift that creep in order to get it close enough. Otherwise, it just tethers back.
Yeah. Okay, so we actually got Wind Ranger. Okay, she's only just backing up to go for the bottle charges. A little bit safer for the Wind Ranger, but Ferrari's catching up. Like he's now 11 for 4 up against the 11 for 6 of the Wind Ranger. That's nice. The neck and neck CS between Shadow as well as Rabbit, the Sven versus the Luna, is pretty even too. And Sven's holding skill points. I'm wondering if this is to see if his team is going to be very successful with getting a couple of stacks up, so it's worthwhile skilling Cleave.
It could be. I mean, the thing is, oh, middle lane, Ferrari.
Yeah, Ferrari. Shackled up. He's going to be okay, though. Initiation in, and there's no more power shot left, and he's just got his bottle arriving. Actually, no, that's an empty bottle. He's got to go back to base.
I thought he tried to put it on there, but he didn't. Maybe he thinks he did? Okay, that's weird. So we had the courier deliver, I guess, boots, and then he decided not to go for the crow. Maybe he's thinking, okay, he just freaking got sniped. Okay, so he hit 5 and just immediately power shots, catches Ferrari off guard. I think he had maybe like 5 or 10 less health than he needed to live through that. Nice shot, though.
That was a beautiful shot. That's also a shot with no uphill vision. I don't know if he really intended to do that. Luo is now in trouble. Another power shot to connect. And the Dazzle heal from the Shadow Wave will find the pickoff. And Wings now go 2-0 on this. And oh my. Which I think he had vision because it was daytime, so the creep wave was seeing up the hillside.
Well, Ferrari went to the creep wave and killed it. So he knew that he was there.
Bottom lane. Faith can be picked up. They're going to the Grave Chill, and they'll follow through with the Storm Bolt. They're waiting a little bit longer because the Cog's already keeping Clockwork here. So they just keep beating through him with a Fade Bolt. Support will arrive. There's no Shallow Grave available, but Clockwork, he's got the distance on him. No mana for the Soul Assumption. So IG failing on the gang, Clockwork surviving. And that's the first time we've really seen aggression from this safe lane of IG.
He must have gotten some of the craziest Stout Shield procs. And Luo might be in some trouble as well here. Oh, Shards didn't block.
Oh, there's a gap through, but he'll be picking up the Luna. Now, Lu's got one more Lucent Beam, and that'll do the job. 3 for 0. 3 for 0. There's 2 deaths to the Beastmaster, 1 death to the SF. It's all happened in the space of 2 minutes.
You know, that snowball kind of makes me wonder if they didn't pick this with the intention of going Luna from a very early point, because if you think about it, when you get Eclipse, you snowball with the Luna, and if it's a solo offlaner, he dies, right? Like, what's his counterplay if he doesn't have a creep wave? Like, you snowball in, you pop Eclipse, dead hero.
Yep.
That's actually a pretty legit combination.
And you can't stop the Luna. Like, what are you going to do? Kill her off? Like, she's in snowball.
Yeah, you get sharded as well, most likely, as long as the Tusk is on his A game.
Interesting to see Sean go for this solo smoke move. So it looks like he's just on a warding mission, gets an Observe Ward on the hillside, and then rotate into the mid. This is kind of what I wanted to see from Chuan, but he needs to succeed in the bottom lane to make this really work, so we could have a little bit more of a level, a little bit more of like money than anything else. So it drops down the Sentry Ward. Now they'll see the Dire Observer Ward, and Sean, in fact, the smoke will break on him. So he wants to come up and just de-ward this, as well as protect the rune for Ferrari. But Ferrari, okay, this is the good time for him. Gets the clarities, goes through the bottle charges. So he'll get a little bit more strength back into this lane. So even though it's 0 for 3, the gold advantage is kicking the way of Wings, so they're getting closer towards 2,000. the experience is only 500, and there's great flash firing from both SF as well as Vent. So I'm not feeling like Wings is fully in this yet, like as far as like the driver's seat to control this game, but they've had a really good start.
Yeah, the entirety of their difference right now is just the kills. Like, that's it. So once they start managing to turn that into objectives as well, like you do have a Luna on your team, so there's a good chance that he starts coming to fights, or maybe they just dive poor Luo here, and looks like that's going to be the play.
Missed a level 2.
He even had his Hawk out too, so he has some idea what's going on, but of course they are smoked.
He's staying close enough that he can get experience from this.
Oh, they know he's there.
Yep, there's the ping. See him in the tree line. Luo actually blocks in Ice by doing this, and the Luna, well, one Lucent Beam and the Sting. He goes for the Axes, and Luo at least gets to the tree line, but the Rays are arriving from Ferrari. The Snowball will arrive, and they go into the Eclipse. Ferrari copying so much for the Catapult. He tanks up 3 of the beams, and Ferrari with that double damager, and he can just punch him down. The power shot arrives, so Tusker will find the kill. IT really going to get nothing from this? No, Ice will be picked up by Chorn. They'll find the kill there, but the Wind Ranger is rotated in from behind, picking up a tuple, and that is going to be 7-1 in favor of Wings. IG, it looked really good, like Luo was the perfect bait, but it all went horribly, horribly wrong.
If that raise hit, that was a double kill from Ferrari. He would have killed the Dazzle and the Luna with 1 raise. And because of that miss, the Lucent Beam comes out after the fact and ends up getting a kill on top of that, man. That was a total disaster. And the thing is, they even got lucky with RNG, right? Because the Eclipse hit the Catapult 3 times.
Yeah.
So that you couldn't have asked for better luck in that scenario. Just Ferrari, very uncharacteristic, missing that race.
This is the pain I was talking about, Draskell.
The pain of an IG fan.
Yep.
Bottom lane.
They have an option on Faith, and Faith, he should go down now. He can't actually get away. Like, he needs to get just enough distance on Rabbit that he'll be able to cock push him back. The shards fly down, but there's no extra control until the Shackle will be able to latch, and now Shadow can do the work with the extra control. Another Lucent Beam. This Luna really offers so much early damage. And the funny thing is, with her strength gain change as well, you almost feel more confident to leave Luna on the front lines, to snowball her in, and don't think that Luna's just going to basically crumble like wet paper.
Yeah, she got like, what, 0.4 strength gain or something like that?
It was something pretty decent. Chuan's also going to die. He's locked in with the shards. The snowball will ensure the kill. Super does actually have a little bit of extra damage. Raise 1 and Raise 2. Shadow, the creep wave may even do the work. And there's no mana for a soul assumption. And the Shackle! Ferrari locked to the 1 solo tree that was there. It's going to be another kill coming the way. Shadow still has the aggression of the creep wave going after him. But you've just lost your Rubik, you've lost your SF. It's 10-2. Things are just snowballing out of control in favor of Wings. It's a spectacular sight. Their rotations are so good.
They are on point with their aggression. And by the way, can we talk about how that Shackle latched? Like, what is Dota right now?
Well, it wasn't that bad. Like, we
okay,
did
that
have,
was
like,
at least 20 degrees.
It was SF to there to here. Like, that's all it really was. I'm happy that actually shows up. Chuan. No, there's no follow-up to that. But it wasn't that bad on the line.
I don't know, man. That looked pretty cloudy to me. Anyway, yeah, I totally agree. Wings, their rotations have been on point. They have Eclipse up again. And rather than just like sitting back and letting the Luna farm, they're just saying, all right, we'll just push with it. No big deal. We got Focus Fire as well. And the synergy between those 2 heroes in of itself, like that bonus 22 damage with Focus Fire early on when you get the Aghanims going, that's some serious damage output.
Early Roshans, early kills. Shadow gets to finish up his drums. And what's Rabbit's got this Morbid Mask, and he better be praying that he doesn't make this into a mom. Like, if he makes this a Mask of Madness, then he'll just die faster. They got Ferrari, the Shackle will latch again. Ice puts him up. The Lucid Beam's got enough damage to get the kill, especially with the one-shot that's there from Ferrari and his Haste Rune. This will be a turnaround, and finally IG gets something that they wanted. It's a kill on someone. It's a Dazzle. That is something for him.
They were playing that so aggressive, though. Like, I'm pretty sure the Tusk didn't even click on Ferrari because he had a Haste Rune in his bottle the whole time. Under normal circumstances, you just don't go for that kill based on the fact that he has that rune, and he just went YOLO anyway. So you can tell they're feeling confident at the very least, but they need to remember that they are still playing against IG.
Yep.
They might be a little bit inconsistent, but they will punish you for dives like that.
And IG aren't really that crippled. Like, it's the hilarious thing, because while all this is going on, Luo found space on top lane. So he's up to level 6.5 on this Beastmaster. He's got 1,400 gold at the moment. And I'm interested to see if he feels like he has to go for the mech, so Ferrari can go more combat items here, or if he can still get away with getting the Necro book up and running.
I would really like Necro, to be honest. Like, I think that Necrobook on this hero is mandatory even before Blink in like every single game. Because the problem with Beastmaster normally is you don't have a lot of solo kill power on your own. Like even with max level Wild Axes and Roar by itself, that's not enough to really make you a threat. But as soon as you get, like, heck, even a book 1 or 2, it still adds a tremendous amount of damage output to your hero, and that does make you a threat.
You just need it in combination with something, though. Like, what we've been seeing most of the time when we get these Beastmasters, by the way, nice little triple stack for Rabbit. This will go well towards getting him to that BKB, which he desperately requires. But the normal build we're seeing on the Beastmaster is going in for the Necrobook. You go with Brown Boots, then you go for the BTs. And then you get your Blink Dagger. So you turn into this, like we push with a team fight. The Necrobook arrives around the same time as your mid will normally pick up the mech. Now I see an Ogre Club on SF. I'm putting that into question. I think this will actually probably be a mech on the Beastmaster instead. But it turns into a push where you have both mech and Necrobooks at the right time. Very difficult to take a team fight against a team with that.
Can Beastmaster buy mech without Arcane Boots? Okay, so it takes 270 mana for him to use Axes and his Roar. That's without using Hawk or Boar.
What if he gets a Soul Ring? Would that be enough?
Like, he needs Arcanes if he's going to go mech. Like, 100%. Because mech costs way too much mana for him to utilize here. And his int gain is okay, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to really carry that around. And for the time being, Wings just taking advantage of the situation. They got that Luna Aura. They got Sigil.
IG are grouping up, though. Like, they got Smoke over
They're
on Rubik.
They're going to be way too late.
Yeah, this is already done.
I don't think they're going to try to go for anything. I think they're just scared.
Just get back into farming, get your critical items up and running, and then fight underneath the tier 1 tower. But having a Luna twice over is going to be really problematic. Because now you can just Ice, no extra. Can just grab up that Luna, snowball in with the Eclipse turned on. IG will take so much damage early on, and then Luna just was like, Lucid Beam, attack.
Yeah. And we talked a bit about that combo earlier and how potent it can be. But with the advantage, I think they just mow down towers.
Yeah, this is tower trade-off time now. Like, IG are trying to take out that top tier 1 tower. Both have fortification available. And Wings actually... Okay, now though, I thought for a moment they were going to forget it.
Naked Blink, huh?
Oh, that really just reeks of desperation.
I mean, I kind of understand, because right now, IG have no catch until the Beastmaster gets Blink. And since Rabbit is going for the BKB Mask of Madness build, he's not going the Blink Sven. So they needed somebody to be able to find a pick if there is an opening for it, which I understand that logic perfectly. Like, it makes sense to me, but I still feel like, heck, even like a Force Staff would have maybe had more utility for him here. Because there's a Clockwork on the other team, and forcing somebody out of a Shards or a Cog can be life-saving, and you can maybe make Wings overextend.
Wings are coming to defense. IG just tried to go for the best trade they possibly could. You bring the top tower down to basically 50% of its life. You knew you're going to lose your tier 2. They did burn their fortification in order to buy themselves that extra bit of time. But they don't find any kills on Wings. That net worth is still really close. Like, if you actually look at the net worth on the top 4, the difference is only 700.
Yeah.
So the SF and this Vent are still players. The problem is the Rubik and the Visage are not.
Well, that's one of the problems. The other thing is, Wings' timing for their team. Luna is obviously very good in the late game, but because of the fact that they have Wind Ranger with almost a completed Aghanims, it's 15 minutes in, that means that they can take all these towers as long as Luna's in the area, and it's very, very difficult for IG to fight into that, because not only is their physical damage extremely high, they also have magic damage on top of it. So it's not just like a point in the game where Ferrari is going to be able to pick up its BKB and say, okay, yeah, we can fight this. Yeah. Sure, it's going to help, but if you get focus fired in a fight, you got no mech on your team, you're only looking to Beastmaster for your counter initiation, I guess, with maybe like a Sven stun and a lift. Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if they have the damage.
Yeah. It's a very good question, man. In fact, you're almost relying on Soul Assumption damage to get these picks, but you don't actually have enough mana on the Visage in order to use this during the fight.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do? You're going to burn through 400 mana by using 1 Grave Chill and 2 Soul Assumptions. And then there's something else with the Visage too, because there's no familiar drops either. So there's no extra damage and control from them. But they're going to try and defend the top lane for now. Pulls the creep wave back with the Fate Bolt and Rabbit. Understands just how futile it is to come that close. This is the Sven. This is meant to be your frontline tank. And just the range harassment from Wings brought him down by over 50% of his life.
Their spam is nuts. Ice Shards, Lucent Beams. They also have Luna night vision, which is really important to keep in mind. And then they have like power shots, and it's just difficult to stay close to them. If you're gonna go in, you have to get that jump on point, which is I think kind of one of the other reasons why Luo bought the Blink Dagger, because you can't just sit there and stand by your tower. You will eventually get harassed out.
Here come Wings. They're gonna try and push in. Power shot stolen by Chuan. This will actually make it really difficult to keep the wave alive. With a Stormbolt and Solar Assumption, they're just chipping away at the Wind Ranger. There's no bottle charges, and Chuan's even going to throw him back a little bit further. But the chip only does so much. Like, you've got the Shadow Wave that comes out from Innocence that gives them the life back. You don't actually have the mech completed because they decided to push that onto Tusker. So Ice is the man building that.
Yeah.
And they will just back out of here.
The Clockwork one might, so... Yeah, Faith is not the one who's buying back this game.
Wait, really?
He is position 1 Clockwork.
I'm surprised you actually do that. Considering the state of this game and the delayed on the BKBs from IG, you could have had Blade Mail already up and running.
I think Blade Mail is really good too. But he could have like expected that maybe... Oh, I might have to hold that thought.
Yeah, they're coming.
There's a smoke here.
IG's on the way. This time they've got familiars and they can see Wings moving.
Oh, smoke
That's
broke.
the bigger thing. So even if the smoke was broken, Wings still don't see this. The power shot flies down, but that's coming out from Chuan. Chips away at them a little bit.
There is no Sven here either.
Okay, yeah, you don't have your stun. Okay, yeah, this is a dream. That's a very weird smoke to go when you've got no Sven and you try and go for a 4-man smoke.
They might have expected that somebody TPs back to tier 2 to try to push the Sven back to base, like get him out of lane.
And then Beastmaster Blink Roar and you get yourself a quick kill.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
That could have been their hopes, but unfortunately Wings had not separated here. They're still looking to push into the tier 2 safe lane. That does mean that Rabbit's going to be able to finish his BKB before he goes back to base. And 2 BKBs, 10 seconds on the SF and the Sven, that gives IG a pretty good chance of defending their high ground.
I'm not sure about this from Rabbit. He just triggered his God Strength. So he takes out the tier 2 tower, ends up being just a straight tower for tower trade-off, and finishes the BKB for the Sven while having an extra 1,000 gold.
It's not that long of a cooldown. I guess that's why he feels okay to pop it here.
It's just if Wings were going to push, because it's actually, yeah, because the Aegis team all the time does. He said, yeah, the timing is actually right to do that.
Yeah.
Because Wings just can't force the issue yet.
Yeah, this is that weird part in the game where Sven is actually pretty damn scary, just because of the fact that BKB with the Warcry and God Strength, you get that massive attack speed, and you can kill anyone, really, as long as you catch them out. The only person you probably don't want to go for is Wind Ranger, just because Wind Run kind of makes your hero pretty useless right now.
Yeah.
And you have to really, really hope that Ice isn't going to be able to put somebody in a snowball. Because if your stuns are disjointed by that, you have pretty much lost the fight.
Let's actually talk about Wind Ranger for a moment too. So if you're Sven, do you feel like you can take out the Wind Ranger? Do you build in for like a Monkey King bar as your next item in order to counter that? Because I'm looking at Ferrari and his raise damage isn't going to be enough to kill off the Wind Ranger just because of the stats that she gets from the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah.
That's a lot of life. So how do you kill the Wind Ranger?
MKB could be an option for him a bit later. I think more often than not as a Sven, if you're ever playing against a hero that has evasion, you just try to hit other people so your cleave hits the other target. Because even with God Strength on, you get like 1 or 2 lucky crits and you're going to be taking out pretty much anyone. And the nice thing is cleave damage can't miss.
Yeah.
So as long as you're hitting something and the Wind Ranger is in the area, you can deal your damage that way. They do have Soul Assumption, Requiem, they have Raises, they have Roar. They have a lot of lockdown actually. So as long as you're on point, you get some bird stuns going, you get a Sven stun, I think they can kill him. But that's totally discounting like Grave, Snowball, Cogs, Hookshot. Like there's a lot of deterrence as well on the side of Wings.
A couple of abilities. Yeah. But Wings also, so now we've got the position where Familiar start doing their split push. Wings brought their entire team down the bottom lane, and they've got to stop doing this. They're grouping up as 5 to try and take objectives, but they still haven't taken a Rax yet. If you look at the experience graph, you're going to see that IG is in fact in front. They were in front by 1,500 at one point. It's 1,000 now, so you're behind by 7,000 gold, but you're a whole bunch of towers behind. Yeah, you're a bunch of kills behind, but you're that far behind in the gold. But your Sven and your SF still have the critical items they need to fight. The Beastmaster, yeah, he might just be a Blink Roar at the moment with minimal damage from Axis, but he still does his job.
They're going to go triple Blink. Yeah, they are. Okay, so 3 Blinks now. So it's Blink Roar, Blink Requiem, Blink Sven. That is some serious kill power. And I like that play from IG because, again, the BKB timing is really the thing that matters. So once you have that out, and then you have it on the 2 cores that matter the most for you, and your 2 primary damage dealers at the same time, these 10-second BKBs could actually help them turn the game.
And look at them set up for it. The two observer wards they place down, they see when Wings are going to move in. The one ward to see behind the tier 1 tower, and the other ward to see when Wings come into their jungle. So both entrances are covered. So they see Faith moving up by himself, and then they know if they want to, they can try and go for this. But the Familiars keep harassing bottom, so Wings are always looking behind themselves at the same time. And IG, now they play the vision game. They get a gem over on Chuan. He takes out the aggressive Dire Observer ward. And in fact, where is the vision from the Dire?
They don't have any.
Yep, that was the last ward. They have no Observer wards on the field.
Yeah, they're going for a blind smoke too. But this is solely for Roshan. Like, they want to defend Rosh. They want to take one good fight. Fighting inside of the woods when you have Eclipse available is great because there's a lot less likelihood that you're going to, you know, waste those beams like we saw earlier. Hitting the catapult a few times. But if they can get even like 1 or 2 picks, like Shadow Fiend, for example, doesn't have buyback, so they're not going to be able to contest Rosh with that.
Oh, they're coming.
Oh!
Now Clockwork's going to go quick. The stun flies over, and Clockwork hookshots himself in. You get the Warriors punch up, and Ferrari's winding up the ulti. There goes your Clockwork. They move into Ice Eyes. This was not the plan for Wings. The Rays will continue to hit. You do have Shallow Grave available, but IG got what they wanted. They get 2 kills. Roshan, they know, was already up because it was scattered by this Event Illusion before, and they're going to come in and take it. Even Medallion of Courage was not used by Super, so he's still, sorry, it was used by Super, but he still got this now for Roshan. That's almost game-turning fight for IG.
Absolutely. Those BKBs, as soon as the Luna sees that, even, like, Wings played that as well as they could have. They put the Luna into Snowball after being force-staffed away. Rabbit did virtually no damage to him, but the problem is you can't pop Eclipse in that situation because you're basically Eclipsing, and the best thing that you're going to do is get it stolen. He gets lifted immediately, he gets roared. He can't really afford to use the spell because he's not in the good position to do it. Yep. And since he himself does not have BKB, it makes it even harder for him to stand there and just fight. So that was a really nice timing. And the fact that, again, maxed Warcry gives you 20 armor during a fight. And then Presence of Dark Lord's -6. So there's a 26 armor difference between these two teams just standing around.
Yep. And it was also because IG were all together. Like,
yes.
It was, you almost look at it and you say, you know what, if Clockwork hookshot is in, he actually can cog everyone. I think that was also the plan from Wings. Was like, you know what, we've lost this fight. Faith, hookshot yourself in, split up the fight, you die, the rest of us live. That's the plan. But, yeah. I mean, it's moments like that you kind of wish you had a Wyvern on your team.
Yeah, no
just
kidding,
come in
right?
and curse. That would have been the dream scenario.
That would have actually destroyed them.
But they have no AoE control, in a sense.
Yeah, they're kind of team, I think, is almost meant to go high ground with that second Aegis. Like, I think that was their whole goal is, okay, we control the early game very well. And to be honest, Wings have done a very good job of that. They've controlled the game. They've gotten all the outer 2 towers. But the thing that's scary right now is that IG were never trailing by much, and they were at a 4-tower disadvantage.
Yep.
And then they just took an okay fight and then got Rosh.
So now they've got 2,500 net worth deficit, but the experience advantage is up to 6,500 in favor of IG. And this is the reason why I was sitting here going, you know what, Wings? Everything's working nicely for you. Your timings look right, but at the same time, IG was still always in this game. And I think you actually hit the nail on the head with the Luna. Like, where was the BKB? Where can she just stand and fight? You go for the Helm of the Dominator and the Manta style. Like, you never really feel the presence of Luna in these fights when Wings want to force the engagements earlier.
It was a greedy build, actually, I feel, by Shadow. Like, if he just goes for something else, like BKB instead of Manta, I think maybe that jungle fight goes a tiny bit differently. Yep. And who knows, maybe that's enough to make you take that Roshan instead. And now they're just going for a trade here.
They're going to cancel some TPs here.
Yeah.
Like, the snowball's coming in, the hookshot's off target, it goes for Super. Luna's doing a lot of work on the bottom lane, and while Rubik... Wait, what? He saw nothing?
Hello?
Yeah, that's...
He saw Snowball.
Okay, he saw Snowball, but it shows up as nothing. Run away. IG just want to get themselves out here. The tier 3 town takes a lot of damage, and Sean gets back to safety, and Luo gets space enough that he's able to blink up the river. IG, they're trying to... Wings are trying to chase this one, but even the Familiars are stalking Faith, blocking any kind of potential for a hookshot. Even if it's on cooldown, they at least catch up to him. The Blink Dagger from the Wind Ranger does the work. And this is going to be Wings, at least with one pick off. But you take a tier 1, tier 2 tower trade-off. They really need to get this next Aegis and break bottom lane.
Well, the thing, too, to remember here is that if Wings... Do they have a smoke right now? I guess that's the next question. If they have a smoke, what they can do is they can bank on the fact that Glyph is down.
They have one.
Yeah, okay. So if they can smoke, then they go in, they try to go for a pick or something like that. Glyph had been used to stop Shadow from killing bottom tier 3, and that's why Wings were so adamant about trying to fight, because like you said, they wanted to cancel TPs. It could have even potentially been a Rax had they bought him even a little bit more time. So with that being said, I think that there is still a window or two left here for Wings to be able to deal some serious damage.
Yeah, I agree. They just have to hit that window perfectly. Get an Alpha Wolf behind you, get an increase of damage for Wings. Get the weave up before you start trying to push in. You got Solar Crest, so you do actually have evasion as well. Even more than normal.
And IG is so aggressive here. They really want to use this Aegis, like real bad.
But where do they go? Like, your bottom lane is kind of like the goal. So if this smoke gank fails, you can still take out the tier 1 tower in bottom lane. Because there's no backdoor regeneration. Faith needs to split up this right now. And well, there's your cogs. Hook shot away. The familiars can't get the suns off. He's still got his hook shot up. And now he goes in on Ferrari. Shackle shot's also available, but the snowball is almost what Windrange was waiting for. But Shadowgrave will keep Clockwork alive. And there's your snowball going to work. Clockwork needs this space. He's got cogs available. Rabbit with that BKB. Ferrari will still drop, but it's the Aegis Immortal which has been expended. Sean might die as well, but now you're eclipsed. It arrives for Shadow, needs more space. Ferrari chasing into it. Shadow just runs himself away from this, and Windranger still on the front lines, picking up 1 and 2 with the help of the Tusker. Force of our Faith is still alive in this fight right now. You got your snowball back over as Sven's BKB. It has worn out for now. The Clockwork's alive because he bought back in this, and Rabbit will now die. A double kill for the Windranger and the Shards. It locks Ferrari in. Just punch him in there. Luna will take the kill, and Wings keep everyone alive. That window of opportunity has just opened up. Sven is the only one with buyback at the moment. No SF for a minute. This should actually be bottom racks.
I agree fully. This is definitely a set of racks. That was such a... It was such a split-up fight, right? Because they all go like on Faith at the beginning. The stolen snowball actually stops a lot of the damage coming out onto Ferrari, right? And it's like, okay, it's looking all right. And then they go on Shadow, but they don't actually drop everything on him. That's the difference when IG are split up. They actually need all of their heroes to throw all their spells at the same person to kill them.
Yep.
If that doesn't happen, they don't have the damage.
Okay, let's see if they can hold this off. Losing that tower really hurts because now the glaives are bouncing so deep in, and a blink forward, catching out Super. The extra Lucent Beam, but Visage still alive for now. One shot just need to kick in, but the snowball will ensure the kill. Rabbit trying to go to work. There's your Ghost Ring, looking for the cleave damage. Needs a little bit more, but the Meg Charge is repairing Wings up, and he's being focus fired. And the hook shot forced up forward. The Wind Ranger gets the last attack him. The Lucent Beam helps out, but the bottom Rax is down. That was a die back from the Sven. 1 Rax has turned into 2 now in favor of Wings. Oh, just IG, you kill my heart.
The sad thing about this game is that they actually completely recovered after that Roshan. Like, they were in such a good position with their mass blinks. They had still 9-second BKBs on all their heroes. They take 1 bad fight with Glyph down, and they just lose their entire base. Like that.
Yeah, they're actually losing more. They're going to lose all 3.
Ferrari's alive, but he doesn't have many souls right now, so his Requiem's going to be relatively weak. He still has BKB, though, and Blink if they want to try to go.
But there's no Raw.
This is a last effort. Like, if they don't go on this, it's just over.
Yep.
All right, I guess it's just over.
They're going to let it go?
Yep. Entire base dead. GG. I got to say, like, that last fight, there was so little coordination in the target that they wanted to go on. They got, like, 3 or 4 members of Wings down to, like, 20% HP, but they didn't actually kill anyone.
Yep.
When you have fights like that against Windranger, and especially in those enclosed spaces, you gotta know you're gonna get shackled like almost every single time.
Yep.
It's actually hard to miss a shackle in those types of fights, and Shadow got a really nice Eclipse off. They took out the BKB on Ferrari, or excuse me, the Aegis on Ferrari very early on.
Yep.
You know, he respawned, popped it, tried to chase
down.
down.
And they isolated him as well.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of chasing they did after Clockwork, like, it was... I kind of want to give extra props to Faith because he moved so well during these engagements. It opened up the space for the Windranger to do work and Luna to even escape, like, because they understood it. Like, that fight broke into 3 different directions. You had your attack moving to the tier 2 tower, going down to the Ancients, and coming back to the tier 3 tower of the Dire side. Right. And while all this was happening, IG, you said you had trouble working out who you wanted to go on. I think they had trouble working out exactly what they wanted to achieve. It's like, we had an Aegis the Immortal. Are we coming for a kill? We don't know if anyone's here. The Observer Ward was sitting on the Direcliff side, but they didn't really get any good intelligence of where people were moving for Wings. So they couldn't just come in, hit and run, and take the tier 1 town, which I think was the mindset. But
it could have been.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, though, where was the Hawk then? I wish I could watch it again, because I know that Luo probably had a Hawk out somewhere in the area. Maybe it got flared, actually. Maybe that's what happened to it. But either way, really nice performance coming out of Wings.
Yeah, it's... a solid performance from them. Again, IG, I told you, man. I told you. When it happens, IG, it
was like a flash of brilliance, followed by
you almost wish, if you're an IG fan, they didn't take Roshan that time. But they needed to stop Wings from just pushing it through the bottom lane with the Aegis and the Immortal. Yeah. But then they get the confidence. If you actually look back at some of the ESL games of IG, you want to see them how they play up against Bounty Hunter. Because it actually makes them move as a 5-man team and very, very defensively.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what they were doing this game.
It was, but then everything kind of broke apart. They lost their line. They failed to move as a team. Was kind of the feeling I got.
Yeah.
Well, Game 2 comes up. We'll see if anything will change. If not, Wings will go through into the winners bracket to play up against either Newbie or Newbie Young, the other game which is currently going on. Or will they drop into the lower bracket to play up against either Newbie or Newbie Young? We'll find out after this break.